The average person wastes 5 hours of the time daily. That is 30% of your whole life wasted on nothing. Not working, not improving, not resting, just drifting away. And as one thing is true, is that we're going to die, is that time spent now is time gone forever. And even the funny part, you're happy about wasting it. And at the end of the day, when you reflect on it, all you feel is shame that you've not improved on yourself. But again and again and again, you said that you're going to improve yourself. And that is what you feel funny about it. You're wasting happily 30% of your whole life. Gone, and you cannot get it back. And I know how this feels. You see, before I started using a thing called the time controller, I was the person who said to himself, I will do this, this, and this. Well, if you take my average to-do list, I needed to make a thumbnail. I needed to prepare a short for Saturday, reading, exercising, and doing something personal. You know how much I checked off on a free day, no work, free day, which you can imagine is at least 12 hours. I did 2 things, the thumbnail and the short. Not exercising, not reading, not my personal thing, but I had time for it to do. And the day, an average free day of me, begin like this. I would wake up around 7 because I want to wake up early. I want to get as much things done, right? Then I would just fall back asleep because I woke up and it was me, I have time enough, just wake up a little, just rest, And then I will go on further. Then it was 9. Then I will just start scrolling on TikTok, doing absolutely nothing while I could just have woken up and just sit with my breakfast or even exercise. Then I've already checked off one thing and it's 9 in the morning. No, I did not do that. Then it was 10. Then I went to the shower, brushed my teeth, ate my breakfast. Then it was 11. And instead of doing something, because I took a relaxed morning, I was now drifting apart, texting other people, watching social media all day long. And then by 4 p.m, the guilt will trap in. And I was like, fuck, I need to do so many things. And then the most annoying thing, oh, Rick, let's come to this. And then I wouldn't want to say no, especially to my parents. If they invite me for something, of course I go with them. And then it was like, fuck, now I won't be able to do it. Well, I had at least 8 hours to do it. And that was the feeling I got, day in, day out. Until recently, 3 days ago, I decided there needs to be a change. And I read this one thing. And I call it the time controller. And what is the time controller exactly? Well, the time controller is just a planning, but more advanced, more for today's world. Not the planning for what it was 40 years ago. No, it's adapted. I've adapted this to this time. That's what it is. No more stressing, getting everything done, having freedom, can do whatever you want with your spare time. And that is what I want. And that is what I've achieved now. I've done it for 3 days straight. And what I got out of it, I never felt so good in my life. That is true. So, let me tell you about the time controller. One thing I did was I did use plannings. What I did not account for is that the sudden change. And the time controller lets you build up the change. Because you cannot go from 0 to 100 and expect to stick to it. No. The time controller lets you go from 0 to 10, 20, 30, etc. So you slowly build it up, depending on how fast you want to pace. And that's what I said. That's what I say. With the best things in life are created slowly. Relationships, friends, love, wealth, trust are all things built slowly. And a good plan, a good schedule of your whole day, it builds slowly. That's what I realized. So, what do you need to do? I want you to look at your watch time, your screen time, and list out the total time. And for me, I have 3 things where I use the most amount of time. So, that will look something like this. So, in total, over a whole week, I spent 12 hours and 41 minutes on YouTube alone. On WhatsApp, I spent 11 hours and 44 minutes. On TikTok, I spent 7 hours and 5 minutes, and that comes to around 32 hours a week. Well, the time I spent on my phone was 42 hours. That is a 10-hour difference from the most used apps. So, you notice the biggest apps you use, the most amount of time they consume, and then do it by day. So, on average, YouTube takes 1 hour and 48 minutes of my days. WhatsApp, 1 hour and 44 minutes. TikTok, 1 hour roughly. That is how much time it takes. So if you sum that up, you come to around 4.5 hours a day. Well, that's funny. Because then there is 1.5 hours I spent on something else a day. So, what are you going to do? And what does this time controller do? Well, let me explain it to you very briefly. With planning, you have certain tasks that you want to accomplish, right? Well, pick the task you want to do the least, but it needs to be done. So if it is cleaning the house, you do that at the first given moment. But then I hear a lot of people say, but my life isn't so predictable that first given moment. No, the time controller does not let you do it on the first given moment. It lets you do it when you're awake, but others are not. And yes, you need to wake up early. Most amount of people wake up on a Monday till Friday between 6:45 and 7 a.m. So if you want to do the task without getting interrupted, without sudden things coming in your day, do it before that. And I know that means waking up early. But let me tell you, you have done the task you want to do the least, and then you have a whole day ahead and nobody has disturbed you. So you've done it and you have more room for other things to let in come. It's one of the great benefits of the time controller. You see, today I needed to do 3 things. I wanted to go for a run, which was my one thing I did not want to do. Especially late at night, I do not want to do it. because tomorrow I need to be at 7 at work. I need to charge my car. I need to walk the dog. So I could have been, I can push it further in my day. But then if I want to do something, for example, my father is free today, so if I want to do something with him, I have the time to do it. Why? Because I've woken up at 5 in the morning. I've then snoozed to 5:30 and went for a run. Came back, charged my car, walked the dog. And while charging my car, I've done reading. So I've done exercising and reading. I've already done it. And it's 9 in the morning when I'm sitting with my breakfast. I've already done 2 tasks of the 4 I want to do. What is the next? I need to make a video. But instead of doing that immediately, my father asked, do you want to get groceries with me? Then we stop by grandma and grandpa, play a card game, and then we go on. Absolutely fine. I have the time and flexibility now. And that is what a schedule needs to bring you. Time and flexibility while still getting your chores done. So now, for me, it's 2 p.m. I can just make this video and then I'm almost done for the day. And then I still have around 6 hours left of my day. I can just sitting on my butt. That's the great thing about this. So, to give you a quick sum up of why you need to use this and how you need to use this. If you say my life is not as predictable as others, no problem. Just like I said, just begin with the task you least want to do and do it before others wake up. Yes, this is a schedule planted around waking up early. But that is where the most time is found. Now, if you're a person who says, I've tried planning before, this lets you build up. Why lets you build up? And that's why I showed you this. Now you have an insight of how much time you use a day. And now you can see where you're losing time. So if you want to have more time, just that means cutting this in half to start with. Just half an hour, this maybe to an hour, and this maybe to an hour too. So now you've already gained around 2 hours in your whole day. And that is why you can build it up slowly, because you want to cut out more, be as much productive as you want to be, depending on your goals, still have your fun time, but also have a quick insight in what you're spending your time on. That is why I showed you, that is why I said to you, make that graph, because then you know I'm spending this much time on this. I need to get this done. I need to do this less. Then you can slowly build off until you're at the moment, you're right. This is right. This is working for me. Now I can do this. And for you, it can be maybe that you have 8 hours on social media. For someone, it means 2 hours. As I said, it depends on your goals. Now, one of the biggest objections I got when I presented this to my best friend. But I do not want to be a robot. I want to have freedom. Well, let me ask you this question. Does freedom mean working a 9 to 5? Have a set schedule? Is that called freedom? No. Freedom is by definition that you have control over your time, over your money, and over your health. That is freedom. So a schedule like this helps you to achieve more freedom. Why? You have more control over your time. When you have more control over your time, you can look better after your health. And when you're healthy, the money side will fix automatically because you can put in more effort into your job, into your business. I don't even know where to start. That's what I said. Just make that list of everything you spend time on and then slowly build it up until the point you reach, now I'm comfortable with wasting this time and doing this. And last thing, it feels overwhelming. All changes feel overwhelming because it takes time, it takes energy from you. And that's why it lets you slowly build it, because then the change isn't as much, the overwhelming feeling isn't as much. And that is why I say go for this system. Because this system truly gives you freedom and control over your own life without wasting 5 hours a day. Because that is what I did. 32 is almost 5 hours a day. Wasting. And in fact, it's even 6. So with that, I hope this brought you something and I hope to see you in my next video.